Stay tuned as we check out this Marvel Legends Doppelganger from the Molten Man Build-a-Figure wave. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today our Molten Man Build-a-Figure wave reviews continue with, of course, Doppelganger. Now this is the evil clone version of Spider-Man. I don't think it's a clone, I think it's like an evil version of him that was created by Magnus, the evil version of Adam Warlock during one of the Infinity War runs. But I will explain as much as I can in my Who Is He segment, so stick around for that. But as you can see in the box, it is of course Spider-Man with 6 arms, and he used the same body as the previous 6-armed Spider-Man, which a lot of people didn't really appreciate because it lacked any sort of articulation on the sort of ab area. But again, we'll have a closer look when we open it. He also comes with a Build-a-Figure piece for the Molten Man as well. And then again, we're getting this new graphic design art on the back, which I appreciate. And then the bio actually reads, "An evil, mindless duplicate of Spider-Man infused with supernatural energy by the Demo Goblin. The 6-armed doppelganger has deadly claws and can shoot razor-sharp webbing." So as I said, he was created to be the doppelganger of Spider-Man, but an evil version, of course. And I think he later became the pet of the Demo Goblin. But again, I'll explain it in my Who Is He segment. But yeah, that's who he is if you didn't know. And then as always, you get a list of all the figures in this wave you need to complete the Molten Man Build-a-Figure. Today we're reviewing Doppelganger. So again, if all else fails, it is an ugly looking version of Spider-Man. So let's get him open and see what we think. And here we have Doppelganger out of the box, and first impressions are it's what I expected. It's a lackluster figure on an undesirable book on a character for me personally haven't got that much love for, but I'm sure people out there that are fans of the Spider-Verse will love this guy, just probably not so much the body that it's on, because he is like a agile creature that crawls about and whatnot, and obviously without that ab crunch, the poses ain't gonna be that great, as you can tell. But I do prefer the colours of this Spider-Man figure compared to the previous 6-armed Spider-Man, and obviously I'll do a comparison. They're a lot darker. Obviously it's on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 mould, so the torso is quite long, so you could fit in all of these arms. There's different hands on all of the arms. You've got 3 grabby hands and then 3 like tightly fisted hands. But if you can see, there's only 3 fingers on each hand. And again, the same with the feet. There's like clawy feet. So yeah, I'm sure, again, fans of the Spider-Verse, you're going to appreciate getting another new character. But me personally, as I said, not massively excited. Let me zoom in, show you some details, and then we'll talk about Doppelganger. There we have a close-up of the head, and to be fair, the sculpt is not that bad at all. You can see the teeth, and it's an open mouth, but it's a shame there's not an articulated jaw. But the teeth are sculpted quite well. They're painted all right, but the inside of the mouth is just painted black. There's not really much detail there, not that what I can tell. The eyes are big and red, but you can see the sort of crisscross pattern in there. Obviously, the spider webs on the helmet are all sculpted all the way around, and the articulation on the head, you can get it looking quite far up and bury the head in the chest. So it's okay, to be fair. The rest of the arms, articulation is what you would expect. Double jointed elbows, and as I said, here are those hands. So you've got 3 hands that are just like claws, and then 3 hands that are like fists, but they've both got 3 fingers. And again, to be fair, the articulation on the arms is pretty good. It's what you would expect from Marvel Legends. Double jointed elbows on all 6 of the hands. It's just a shame you can't get that ab crunch. But again, I'm sure people can get this guy into some unique poses. I do appreciate what Hasbro were trying to do. So there's all the arms just crushed into the chest. And on the back, it looks quite clean with that bigger Spider-Man logo. And again, you can see the sort of sculpted pattern all the way down. The webs, obviously, on the chest are all sculpted. As I said, it is the Spider-Man 2 mold. And on the previous 6-armed Spider-Man, the costume was all ripped here on all the shoulder joints, but obviously this costume is completely flush. There's no rips or nothing, and you can see the sculpted detail on all the shoulder joints and all the way down to sort of the forearms. And then the feet, quite well articulated to be fair. They're like crow's feet, ain't they? They're like a sort of chicken claws or something. But yeah, they articulate well, and there's some really good ankle pivot there. So I think this guy will be a nice sort of a piece to maybe put with your Demo Goblin, or hide him in the back of your Spider-Verse, just looking like an evil Spider-Man. But again, I'm sure people out there will like him. So again, this guy makes a good silhouette, and I just want to mention as well, you can swap all the hands. So if you want like 3 of the clawed hands on one side, for example, or the hands on the bottom to not have claws or whatever, then obviously you can do that. So you can swap all the hands around, not a problem. So again, anyone curious about this guy, I'll probably keep referring to him as a clone, where he's not really a clone, he's obviously a doppelganger. He's not the real Spider-Man. And maybe this will help you out in a segment I like to call Doppelganger. Who is he? This is the part of the video where we ask the question, who is he? And I try and give you a little bit of information about the character this figure is inspired by. So, Doppelganger. Who is he? Doppelganger is the mindless, evil duplicate of Spider-Man and was created by Magnus, the evil dark version of Adam Warlock during the events of Infinity War. He made his first full appearance in the Infinity War #1 in 1992. He possesses all the same powers of Spider-Man, but of course has 6 arms, fangs, claws and razor-edged webbing, and he doesn't speak, just growls and hisses. Even after the events of Infinity War, Doppelganger stuck around thanks to the magic of Demo Goblin and even was his pet for a time. Even to this day, Doppelganger still lingers in the shadows of the Marvel Universe. There you go, so I hope that helps. Again, I do not claim to be an expert, but it is nice to have a little bit of information about the characters these figures are inspired by. So I forgot to mention this guy clearly comes with no accessories, but he does come packaged with a Build-a-Figure arm for the Molten Man Build-a-Figure. So again, getting closer and closer to building that guy. I like the sort of gold effect with the sort of orange and the heat and the... Yeah, I don't think this Build-a-Figure is going to be as bad as people are making out. Haven't seen Far From Home yet, but obviously I'm sure once people have seen the set piece and that, they're going to be clamoring to get this guy on their shelf. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, come back, find the playlist, as I will be reviewing Molten Man once I've got through the rest of these figures. Now back to Doppelganger. Let's bring in his creator. As I said, this is Adam Warlock's evil self, the Magnus. He sort of created doppelganger versions of all the Marvel heroes and whatnot in Infinity War. And then here we have Demo Goblin as well, who eventually made the doppelganger his pet. And then when Doppelganger died, he brought him back with his magic. So then when all of the doppelgangers in the Marvel Universe died, this doppelganger, the Spider-Man doppelganger, didn't die because of Demo Goblin's magic. So to this very day, Doppelganger Spider-Man is still hiding in the shadows somewhere of the Marvel Universe, and we may see him again. But again, if you're going to have your Demo Goblin flying on your shelf in your collection, you could maybe hide this guy behind him, and they were, as I said, they were his pet and whatnot. So yeah, I'm sure you can find your use for him in your collection. Here we have Doppelganger compared to 6-armed Spider-Man, and obviously these share the same body, just with a few different parts like the shoulders, the feet, the arms and whatnot. But look at the colour difference in this guy. This guy always stood out for the wrong reasons in the collection. I could forgive the sort of lack of articulation on the sort of abs. I really was annoyed about the colour. It just stands out too much, very cartoony, looks very cheap. And yeah, I could never really get this guy to look good in the collection. So unfortunately, he sits in a box. Where this one, I can definitely find him maybe at the back of my villain shelf, maybe, as I said, underneath Hobgoblin or whatever. So yeah, maybe this guy will find a place in the back of the collection. But unfortunately, this guy's going to live in a box. Sad times. Here we have Doppelganger compared to the OG Pizza Spider-Man, and to be fair, my figure's seen better days. He moves around in the collection quite a lot, such a fun figure to pose. And then of course, the second Spider-Woman, Miss Julia Carpenter. She's also the only other comic book figure I have reviewed in this Molten Man Build-a-Figure wave so far, so obviously stick around for the rest of them. So final thoughts are, it's grew on me while I'm reviewing this figure and while he's been on the table, while he was standing next to Demo Goblin and whatnot. I do think I can find a place for him in the collection. So yeah, I get what it is. Not my most desirable figure, but probably a better use for that 6-arm body mold than the previous release. Prefer the colours, and the character has a little history, and it is another unique character as well for the shelf. So yeah, trying to find the positive, people, trying to find the positives. You let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, are you a fan of Doppelganger? Do you have any type of history with him? Did you want him for your collection? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, people, go and check out the videos tab, find the playlist. And as always, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. And my name is Dan W. And of course, see you on the next one.